morning, buenos dias, damas y caballeros. Ladies and gentlemen, we are in Mexico City.
We are in the heart of it. We are in the Zocalo, the symbolic center of the entire country and the place where the city was founded. Basically, over the next couple of days, we're going to do Mexico City in depth. We're going to go from the roots of the city, the Aztec roots of the city, through its artistic wealth, the history of muralism and street art, all the way up to the youngest generation of Chilangos that are making this city one of the coolest in the world.
Stay tuned. Vagabrothers do
Mexico City.
Vámonos.
One of the coolest things about Mexico City is how it just got this legendary founding story. This was all founded by the Aztecs.
The Aztecs were here in around the 1300s.
Yep, they came here because their god told them to travel from the north of Mexico until they found an eagle sitting on top of a nopal cactus with a snake in its mouth. One of the reasons why we have chosen to come right here is because you can see the indigenous heritage, the old Aztec temples, as well as the Spanish conquistadors that came 200 years later. So we're going to learn a little bit more about how this dual heritage makes Mexico City what it is today, starting at the Templo Mayor.
Dudes, dudettes, ladies, gentlemen, I love Latin American pre-colonial cultures. They are the coolest. Such different, incredible worlds. So artistic, creative, scientific, and almost completely wiped away by the arrival of the Spanish.
So there's 7 layers of civilization that were built here by the Aztecs before the Spanish arrived, and that was all done within 200 years, from founding the city to meeting the Spanish for the first time in the 1500s. And the crazy thing is, after the Spanish came, they literally destroyed all traces of the Aztec civilization. They used the stones to build the new cathedral, and the whole place was buried underground until they kind of rediscovered this whole temple in the 1970s.
These ruins are now back and exposed and part of celebration of the history of the city. But I think we're going to take it even further back, and you shall see where we go. Bienvenidos a Xochimilco.
Yes, we're in the far, far south of the city, and we came here because before this was a city of 30 million people. It was a big lake with a system of canals and little islands where they used to grow all sorts of food.
Nowadays, Xochimilco is kind of a little party spot. People come here, they hop on these
Traineras.
flat-bottom boats. They're pulled around like in Venice. But we're gonna do it differently. We're gonna take an alternative route and find some cool stuff back there. This is definitely cool, guys. I love the colors. There's a lot of wildlife, a lot of birds, ranchero music, micheladas, obviously. Pretty cool. See where we go. Now we're just cruising at a lovely 1 to 2 miles per hour. Over on the left-hand side, you'll see a chinampa. Chinampa! Man-made islands where they've just kind of reclaimed some of the soil, made it into farmland.
We're not that far geographically from the city, but it feels like we're miles and miles away. You know, this place almost disappeared in the 1800s. They diverted a lot of the water away from these canals and it almost dried up. They made this effort to save this area as a nature reserve and a cultural reserve as well, because this way of life is thousands of years old.
Xochimilco representa un patrimonio cultural, es uno de los principales pulmones para el Distrito Federal. Si Xochimilco desaparece, la Ciudad de México desaparece.
Literally, this has to be one of the chillest lunches of all time. Quesadillas with blue corn tortillas. Inside you have pumpkin flowers with mushrooms.
The food comes from right here. So we're gonna eat this and then we're gonna hop off and visit one of the farms that's producing this food. Peaceful boat ride concluded. We are now on the Chinampa. Xochimilco means field of flowers, and as you can see right here, there's a beautiful flower farm, and we're gonna go meet the farmers behind it.
So we just found out about the chapin technique. They go into the canals, they dig out the mud, they plant seeds into these little kind of like cubes of mud. I killed a mosquito. Once they start sprouting, they'll break the cube into like little plants, and these are just individual plants. This one's a tomato, probably ends up as a salsa on somebody's taco.
El movimiento de comida local y orgánica, ¿crees que esa ha dado como un empuje bueno para ese tipo de las granjas?
Por ejemplo, la central de abasto llega mucho producto de donde siembran por hectáreas y echan muchos químicos, todo eso. Acá es pequeña la producción, un poco de brócoli, un poco de cilantro. Cada día lo veníamos perdiendo, pero ahorita con la innovación que ha venido, que lo orgánico, tenemos un poco de más demanda. La misma gente que viene acá nos compra y se lleva sus productos de acá.
So if you guys are fans of the Netflix show Chef's Table, you might have seen the new season in which Enrique Olvera, who is the chef behind Pujol, one of the best restaurants in the city, he is all about creating the connection with this sort of food and these small producers. That interest in locally grown food in a traditional way, that's really allowing this sort of production to survive on such a small scale. And it's just a cool thing to observe. I'm freaking out. You know why? Because we are in El Bosque de Chapultepec. First sentence I think I learned in Spanish after ¿Dónde está la biblioteca? Is ¿Dónde está el Bosque de Chapultepec? We learned about it in textbooks for a reason. It's a big deal. It's essential. That actually was cool.
I really enjoy saying Chapultepec. Try it. I guarantee you'll smile. So do you know any knowledge on this place or what?
All right, here's a breakdown. Chapultepec, Aztec for Hill of the Grasshoppers. This was built for the Spanish viceroys, but it actually is famous for being the only occupied royal residence in the Americas. Napoleon III, who was a French king, he put in power a guy named Maximilian I, and Mexico was briefly ruled as a monarchy. If you're American, you might recognize the words the Halls of Montezuma from the U.S. Marines anthem, their hymn, and that refers to here, which was the final battle of the Mexican-American War. U.S. Marines stormed the place. A couple of teenage soldiers defended it. They died and became martyrs known as the Niños Héroes, or the children heroes.
God damn. You're just a genius, aren't you?
No, dude, I just like reading Wikipedia. It's 5 o'clock, which means this place is about to close, and it's time for
Cocktails. Vámonos. Nice. I stopped to feed a squirrel, and Mark is gone. Lovely. Now I'm lost in the bloody park. Thanks, squirrel.
We're back in the center of town. We're going to a place right here called Shaman, with an X, because we shaman. I want to shaman with you. Down here, they make cocktails using pre-Columbian ingredients.
That means before the arrival of Columbus to the New World from Europe, 1492. Everything that happened before 1492 is pre-Columbian. So let's go get a pre-Columbian cocktail.
Pre-party, pre-Columbian style. I like it. Let's go. They've got a whole selection of cocktails, classics, and also some ones that are seasonal. So we're gonna pick two of their all-stars. We're doing the Chamuco and El Crudandero, por favor.
I have no idea what either of those are, but if it's a cocktail, it sounds good.
What do we have here?
Crickets.
Crickets. Muy rico.
Gracias,
We just got to this restaurant, Limosneros. This place is supposedly really good. It looks super cool.
Bueno, este proyecto surgió como un rescate, en primero rescate del edificio, que es un edificio de hace 400 años, que fue un convento. La propuesta siempre fue que fuera cocina mexicana contemporánea. La cocina mexicana, digamos, de unos 10 años para acá es que ha resurgido bastante, sobre todo en cuestión de calidad. Hasta el momento siguen y que nos siguen gustando mucho, pues han sido los platos con insectos.
First up, coco paches. These are Puebla beetles. They're big, they're crunchy, they have wings and way too many legs, but they're on top of a ricotta cheese type thing and they're supposedly delicious. So here we go. Big bite.
¿Quieren chapulines en su salsa?
Pues sí. What is that?
These are ant eggs with black beans and smoked with cinnamon.
How many insects are in that?
The United Nations says that insects are going to be one of the best protein sources for the world. They're ecological, they're tasty, they're not bad on the environment, and they are on my tongue right now.
Damas, caballeros, ladies, gents, amazing day, first day in Mexico City, incredible.
Essentially what we're trying to show here today was just like the richness of the culture. Not that it is stuck in the past, but that it's very much a world city with a heritage as deep and as long as any place in the world. So
Very deep,
yeah.
very long.
The point being that tomorrow we're going to continue this exploration. Tomorrow we're delving into
Deeper.
creative art, Diego Rivera, street art, Frida Kahlo, all this cool stuff. So make sure you stay tuned for that.
If you guys enjoyed this video, you know what to do.
Thumbs up.
If you haven't subbed, sub. Vagabuddies, you're the best. Love you guys. We're out. Peace. Paz. Amor.